Well, it's the first Finance Friday of 2021 with First Ontario's Dave Schurman, a segment when Dave traditionally shares some New Year's financial resolutions with us. Good morning, Dave. Looking good. How was the holidays?
Good morning, Bob. Very well, thank you. How about you?
Oh, good. And glad we're safe and doing well and kicking off a new year and hopefully a better year as well. And better financially, thanks to you. So let's get started.
We get into financial resolutions. The first one is create some good financial tips. I mean, it's almost like a no-brainer. But COVID has forced us over the last 9-10 months to change our habits somewhat in the financial sense. I mean, most of us are spending less, we're saving more, and we find out that we can actually do that. So that's kind of a financial habit created by necessity. But COVID will end. Hopefully it'll end pretty soon. But we want to make sure that we keep those good financial habits. So the best way to do that, Bob, is to create a budget and follow it. I mean, we don't always control how much we earn, but we can control how much we spend to some extent. So budgeting and controlling your spending and seeing where your money goes will really help you off. So that's a good financial habit that you should start if you don't do it already.
So we have been doing more saving, yes, as you mentioned during the pandemic, and an emergency fund is important, isn't it?
Absolutely. That's my second big tip. We talk about it quite often, just like budgeting. It's important to have an emergency fund somewhere around 3 to 6 months of salary. And again, COVID used that example, but it showed us that anything can happen. I mean, look back a year ago, Bob, who would have thought we'd be in a worldwide pandemic and businesses shut down? Nobody would have expected that. But other things do happen unexpected. Cars break down. You need a new stove. You lose a job. There's a disability. That affects your income. That affects your ability to pay things that pop up. So having that emergency fund will allow you to continue on without having to put, for instance, things on a credit card that's high-cost debt.
And that takes us to your next tip, pay down debt.
Yeah, next step, again, very obvious. I mean, if our grandparents or our parents were talking today about New Year's resolutions, that would probably be their first one because they hated debt. We've almost come accustomed to being okay with debt. And that's all right, you know, if it's good debt like a mortgage or a car loan or a student loan that's going to help you earn income. But high-priced debt like credit cards, department stores, personal loans, that's the kind of debt you want to pay down as quickly as possible because that's charging you a lot of interest, and that interest is basically going out the window. If you save money on interest, you can use it for other things like starting an emergency fund.
Right. And with savings, let's talk about investment savings now.
Yeah, so that's my last one, and it's related to taxes, and that's your registered savings plans. Once January 1st hits, which it just did, it automatically kicks in a new contribution room for us or more on a tax-free savings account. So we've all got now, everybody 18 years of older in Canada has another $6,000 in contribution room on their tax-free savings account. We also have any room that we've accumulated that we haven't used yet, and if you've made any withdrawals from a tax-free savings account, once January 1st hits, you can now put that back in without any penalties or affecting your contribution room. Registered retirement savings plans are another, again, registered plan that saves you on taxes. And we all know that we have 60 days after the end of the year, so this year until March 1st to make our contribution. But if you're going to make a contribution, why not do it now? And you'll get another couple of months of tax-deferred investment returns. So don't wait, do it now. Final thing, Bob, a quick tip. If you haven't already set up My Account under CRA, then you should do it because if you're wondering what's my limit on RRSPs or how much room do I have on tax-free savings accounts, if you register and set up a My Account under CRA, that'll give you that up-to-date information right away. So you can find it any way you want, anytime you want, just by logging in.
Right. We should mention that's not updated that quickly, so it's good to speak to you just in terms of transactions that has happened.
It will be, your RRSP will be updated because it's based on last year's income tax return. Tax-free savings accounts, it's only updated as much as your financial institution has reported to them. So as long as your financial institution has reported, it's going to be up to date. So again, you might want to, you're the one that's going to know if you made a deposit after what the CRA has, but again, it's a good tool to have.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, and thanks for getting us off to a good start, Dave. You can email your questions to Dave at financefriday@firstontario.com or through Twitter at finance_Friday. And if your question or topic is covered on air, you'll win a gift card from a local business in your community. Thanks, Dave.
Thanks very much, Bob. See you soon.